So for today's project, we're learning about an artist named Claude Monet, who was a plein air artist and a French impressionist. So he would go outside and he would just capture the light and color and just the basic shapes of what he saw outside. So as we can see in these paintings that he's done of different water features like ponds and lakes and rivers, he's just capturing the colors very quickly. And he would do a painting just quickly in one day while he was sitting outside in nature. His idea was that he wanted to go out into nature and to capture the beauty and the light and the color of nature. And so that's what we're going to do today. So today we're going to draw this pond. And the horizon line is just this flat area is between the water and the rocks. And then everything above the water line is going to be considered above the horizon line. So we're going to start off drawing the rocks here, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to draw everything else. So we're going to start off with this green piece of paper on a clipboard, and we're going to start off with our pencil, and we're going to draw kind of a curved horizon line here. Just zoom in and start drawing here so that you can see. I'm going to start with just a curved horizon line because we've got kind of an oval of a horizon line here, and I'm just sketching it with pencil. And then I'm going to have a little bit of a jaggedy oval over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just sort of make that little tiny hill. And so depending on where you're sitting around the pond will depend on where the hill is. Now I'm sitting right in front of the pond, so I'm going to put the hill in the middle. I'm just going to sketch out this hill like that. And then inside the hill, I'm going to draw in these little rectangles. I'm going to draw in lots of little rectangles like that. So let me go ahead and speed up through this a little bit as I draw all of these little rectangles, which are all of these rocks around the hill. Okay, so I'm also going to draw the rocks that are flat that we can see the top of, and those are going to be drawn like rectangular prisms. So I drew the rock that the water is actually falling off of as a rectangular prism, and then I'm also drawing some there. And then I'm just going to draw just some quick vertical lines behind the hill, just to indicate that that's where I'm going to put the tree and that grass back there. And I'm just now sketching in just a few places where I might want to put some of the other rocks or some of the other things. But remember, we're not drawing, we're just sort of mapping it out, because we're going to do most of the drawing of the plants and the water and the sky. That's going to be done with our chalk pastels that we're going to be using in a second. So now we're going to get out our bright, beautiful chalk pastels, which is a medium that the plein air artists actually used back when the impressionist artists were making art outside. Now what's great about chalk pastels is that it is great for blending. And if we look at the pond is not blue. Pond water, because water just reflects, so ponds are oftentimes very brown or green with just like a little tiny bit of blue reflected, especially on a cloudy day like it is today. So I'm actually going to put some browns in there first because it's reflecting the dirt from underneath the pond, and it's also reflecting the green that's above the pond, which is why in the ocean is blue on a bright sunny day, whereas ponds are usually a greenish brown. And you very lightly put on the color, and then you blend it in with your hand. And to clean your hand off, you're just going to wipe it off on your blue towel that I've given you. Okay, so now that we've made the pond water, which is sort of this greenish, we're going to add with a different green, we're going to draw with the tip of it. So with the pond water, we drew lightly with the side. When we draw the actual water lilies, we're just making these tiny little dots of ovals around the water with the tip of the oil or of the chalk pastel. And it's just these little ovals, because even if you're looking at it from straight on, it's an oval when you're looking at it from the side. And we're not going to blend it in so much because we don't want to blend it away. So here I've got smaller ones in the background and bigger ones in the foreground. And now I'm going to add some of the grass. Oh, actually, you know what? Before I add the grass, because I'm going to want the rocks in the background. So I'm going to use this light brown, this sort of tan color, which is the same as our limestone rocks. And I'm just going to color right over my pencil lines. And my pencil lines will still show up through the chalk pastel. And I'm going to color right over it. And then I've got the shadow down here. So I'm going to add some dark brown underneath, and I'm going to blend that in. Remember, you draw very, very lightly. You put the color on very lightly, and then you blend it into your paper with your fingers. Chalk pastel is a great way to get messy in art. Okay, now I'm going to actually add the rest of the pond grass here and the cattails. So I'm going to use different colors of green, using some vertical lines. And see, I'm just using some short, quick vertical lines. And then I'm going to do the same in the background here. I'm going to add some vertical lines. I'm also going to add some curly lines to show those leaves, just to give, again, the impression, because we're talking about impressionist art. So it doesn't have to look realistic. It just sort of has to look like a quick capture of it, a quick impression of what we're trying to do. And curly lines are great to show like bushes and trees and leaves. And then in the background, over there's some trees way back there, so I'm going to just show that. I'm going to have it kind of blended because we might not see the individual leaves, and then some blue to cover up the green paper. And some of your paper did get cut off with the clip, and that's okay. We'll just cut that off later. And then I'm just finishing up, putting my chalk pastel down very lightly and then blending in. And adding some more details to my grass, maybe some different shades of green. And now I'm just going to capture those flowers there. So just some little vertical lines to capture those water lilies, just some little diagonal and vertical lines to capture those flowers. And just because the ones that are in the pond today are pink doesn't mean that we can't use whatever color we want, because we're artists, so we get to also use our imagination. And I want orange flowers in my pond today, so I'm just going to put some orange flowers in there too. And I'm even going to blend it in with some other colors. Now, you don't want to do any blending when you're trying to make straight lines. And then I'm going to add just some jaggedy lines for those bottom rocks. All right. Now, as you can see, I've got more of an oval. And then the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the water. So with the water, you get out a blue, and you're just going to add some vertical lines coming down from the rocks, are just vertical lines. And then if you want to make some little curved lines in the water with blue, and this is a very light blue, almost a white.